Today we will talk about genomic DNA isolation. Genomic DNA isolation is actually the process where we isolate our DNA from proteins, membrane, and other cellular materials present in the cell from which it is recovered. So, here is our cell. If you see inside the nucleus, there is a fine thread-like structure is present called DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid. So, how we isolate this DNA from the cell? A large number of different protocols for the efficient isolation of highly purified DNA from both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells is present. The first step in DNA isolation is the cell lysis. In cell lysis, the nucleus and the cells are broken, they open and they release DNA. This process involves mechanical disruption and they also use enzymes and detergent like proteinase K which dissolve the cellular proteins and they free DNA. The other step which is called separation, it separates the DNA from cellular debris. It involves the use of sodium ions that neutralize an inactive charge in the DNA molecule and making them less water soluble and more stable. After separation of DNA from the aqueous solution, it is then rinsed with alcohol and the process is known as precipitation. It involves removal of all remaining cellular debris and unwanted materials. So once the DNA is completely purified, then it is dissolved in water again for convenient storage and handling. So let's discuss these steps one by one. After sampling, we set the temperature of water bath and dry bath at 65 degrees C and then we add cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide and 1% beta mercaptoethanol in a glass bottle and then we place CTAP to dry bath and then we grind our sample in a pestle mortar, add liquid nitrogen. Actually liquid nitrogen helps to freeze and then breaking the cell. Liquid nitrogen also inactivate nucleases as well. So after grinding they become fine powder, the cells extract and then we centrifuge them. After centrifugation, the cell debris lie at the bottom of the apentroph while DNA, RNA and proteins remain suspended in the upper layer. So after grinding into a fine powder, the cell extract we add CTAB buffer. CTAB actually ruptures the cell wall and they disrupt the cell membrane while beta mercaptoethanol is a reducing agent and it helps to break the disulfide bond between the cysteine residue. So the cell wall is disrupted by the mechanical force. Then we place our sample in water bath at 65 degrees C. So after 15 minutes the sample is inverted. After 45 minute incubation at water bath, we remove our samples and centrifuge them at 13,200 rpm for 6 minutes. After centrifugation, we took supernatant into another separate apentroph and add PCI, phenol, chloroform and isoamyl alcohol in the ratio of 25-24 to 1 and invert our samples 4 to 5 times. Here, phenol denatures protein and precipitate forms at the interface between aqueous and organic layer, while chloroform increases the density of organic layer and isoamyl alcohol prevent foaming. After adding PCI, we again centrifuge our samples for 8 minutes at 13,200 rpm. Then, three layers form the DNA present in the aqueous phase, so we took the top layer in a separate apentroph. Then we add ice-chilled isopropanol. It helps to precipitate out the DNA. And then again we incubate our samples for 15 minutes at 13 to 100 rpm. So at this stage, we discard supernatant and took pellet. And then we wash the pellet by adding 200 microliter of 75% ethanol. Actually, 75% ethanol solution helps to remove the salt and other water soluble impurities. And then we again centrifuge our sample for 5 minutes at 13 to 100 rpm. And here we again discard the supernatant and take the pellet. And then we air dry isolation. Then DNA dissolved in a slightly alkaline buffer, TE buffer, which ensure DNA stability and long-term storage. Here we also add 30 microliter RNAs to the append. They remove RNA. So it's all about genomic DNA extraction.